Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel for another episode. Like I had said on the last one, there's not a whole lot of visually appealing things going on right now. We're doing a lot of welding and grinding. Let's just do a quick update on that and where we're going to go, and then we'll kind of check it as we go along. Not sure what all is going to be on this episode, so we'll see when we get to the end.
No, you're not bringing home another piece of junk.
All right, so I started over here and got all these pieces welded in and got this ground down. I got it a little hot right there because I can feel a little bit of a dip there, but you know, I'm not gonna worry about that right now unless I actually get down to painting the thing. I just got to be more careful on those areas those big flat areas. A lot of seams to weld up, so we're just plugging along at it. I was really hoping to hit one of the local car shows tonight, take the car out, but number one, my plates haven't showed up yet, and number two, it's cool here today. It's like going to be high right at 50 and cloudy and windy, and so that's kind of a bummer. I was really hoping to do that, but probably not going to happen this weekend. But anyway, I am going to continue on with this today, and I'm just going that way with all this welding. A couple things I got to do. I noticed this is kind of got a hump in it, so we're going to take the cutoff wheel and I'm going to gap that and take a body hammer and bring that down a little bit. And then I think right here what I'm going to do, and maybe we'll show that when we get to it, is I want a nice edge on this around here, so I might take this round rod and weld it around there, and then, you know, as it gets hot you can kind of bend it easy. The exact same thing I did when, if you watch the series on the Impala, a lot of this edge here is made out of that round rod. So seemed to work pretty good over there. That was the first time I've done it, but we might do that over here. But all right, so let me get some more of this done. I'm gonna work on this up here today, and I still need to get the bottom there. I get down to about here and I'm on my stool and it's like, oh, I gotta sit on the ground to do that. So which is kind of nice that this thing is up on the dollies, because that helps a little bit. So yeah, we're gonna spend the whole day on this thing. Let's just see how far we can get, and we'll check back here shortly. All right, I don't know if you can see that, but I took a little bit out of that. I opened that gap up and I had to do a little relief there, and just took a body hammer and worked that down. So I like started tack here a little bit, and then as the metal got softer from being, or more movable from being warm, then I worked my way across and had to do a little cut there. But that's much more rounded. Got rid of that little peak that was there. Also got a question for all you guys who use MIG welders out there. So I bought this Hobart MIG welder a little over a year ago. And I like it, but I've been having trouble with splatter on this thing. It seems like I got to mess with it all the time with the speed and with the settings. So I went through today and I put a new tip on it, cleaned up the outer tip, and I even went through here and looked at it's got all these settings that I made sure that, yes, I'm following the settings it says to say. I mean, my old MIG welder I really had no problems with. And then made sure my polarity was right, made sure that my gas was right. The only thing I'm noticing is it's saying to use a 75% argon, 25% CO2 mix. And I've got 100% argon. I don't know if that's causing me a problem or not. I used to have a little tank, and I don't remember what it was. I'd just take it up to the place and get it refilled. But I cleaned up the tip, put that new stuff on it, made sure that was right, and it seems like it's doing better. But we'll see how it goes, because like the tip of this thing will get all clogged up with slag. But anyway, if anybody out there that's a better welder than me has experience with that, let me know what you think. Man, I did a long-term lease on that tank, and it was a couple $100. I hate to have to take it back, but if that's what I got to do, that's what I'll do. Okay, so we're good there. A couple areas I need to fix this here. I tried to scab in a piece before, and it just looks like poo-poo. So we're gonna cut that out, and I'm gonna take one of these pieces of scrap over here that I saved. I try to save all this stuff when I'm cutting it off until I know I'm done, because like this piece will fit real nice into there. So I'm kind of a pack rat when it comes to this stuff. So let me cut this out, see if we can get that piece to fit in there nicer, fill that gap up. And then I'm going to go ahead and trim this out a little bit, and we'll show how we do that round rod around there. Okay, back in a minute. All right, so that is much better. We are pretty good from about here up and then here down to here. So I put another piece in there, got everything welded up. I hit it with a heavy disc, and then went over it with a flapper wheel, because it eats those flapper wheels up, grinding them long wheels down. So I just knocked it down with that first, and then I took a DA with some 40 grit on it and went over it. So I mean, I've still definitely got some pinholes that I'm gonna have to go back, and I'll probably do that when I get the front done. Just take a day and just fill all those little pinholes, put the welder on low setting, and then go back and grind those off. But yeah, it's come along good. Welder is doing better since I cleaned that tip, or since I changed that tip. But I think I'm gonna try a different wire size too, just to see what it does. I usually use 30 on everything. I actually got some 35 around here I'll use on like 1/4 inch steel. But I noticed on Bad Chad's videos, he's using 23, and I've never tried using wire that small, and maybe maybe that wire will work better on this welder with thinner sheet metal. So I ordered a little 2-pound spool of it and some tips, and we'll just give it a shot and see if it makes a difference. But for now, I guess I'm just gonna have to go through every once in a while, change these tips, and clean that up more frequently than I'm used to with my old welder. So let me set the camera up, and I need to clearance that a little bit, and we're gonna go ahead and put this round rod in there. And I've also been looking across this front body line, and that thing got kind of hacked. So you got a natural body line here, and just cutting that curve piece and getting it right on that peak. I mean, it's kind of okay up to here, and then I just didn't cut very well, and it got a little squirrely over there. So I'm thinking about getting some more of this rod and clearancing that whole gap out and just welding that in there to give me a nice clean body line all the way across the front of that. I gotta weld all that up anyway, so wouldn't be that big a deal to do. So I'm kind of thinking along those lines. Okay, anyway, let's in fact, I got some round rod over here. What size do I got? That's too big. Get small stuff like this. Okay, let me set the camera up, and we will weld that little piece around there and show how we do that and see what that looks like. All right, let's see if we're going to be able to see that from there. If I can get that in there without me being in the way. This is 3/16 rod, I think. You can buy this at Lowe's or Home Depot, even though I hate paying a premium price for steel like this, but it is what it is. So I usually just kind of wedge it in here at the top, and we're going to start up here. Get that a little further down in there. Grind that out just a little bit. Kind of sitting like halfway, half of the diameter, so I guess the radius sitting down in the groove. Right, isn't it? Half the diameter is the radius. I remember my grade school math stuff. Just tack it on both sides. Now the heat from welding should allow not wanting to. Come on, baby, bend. There we go. Down to the groove. The hammer a little bit. See, just kind of going on both sides of the rod. Bend. Put a little pressure on and walk it down to the next spot. high. This just makes such a nicer rounded edge than trying to weld that edge and grind it all smooth. Heat her up again. I'm gonna have to cut some of it off pretty soon. And I gotta tell you what, I gotta clean up that gap down there before I go any further. I'm gonna try to clean that up after I think. Trying to widen that gap to make sure that lays in there nice. Cut this off in a minute. That way too much on there. Come on, baby. I'm just putting a little pressure on it. While I'm getting it hot. Use the hammer on that. Wrong helmet. This one's for welding. That's all there. Now, cut that thing off. See if we can heat that up and tap that last little piece into place. Oh, so close. Yep, there we go. I'd like it up a little more. Just another hair off it. Okay. So that's how we do that. So what I'm going to do now is just, we'll spot, weld that around on both sides. I don't want to weld it continuous. I want to kind of keep it cool. So hit a few spots here, we'll go along, we'll hit some spots here, and I'm going to wait on this seam because I think we are going to I'm going to get some of that rod and put that in there to straighten that body line out. I think that'll look a lot better. So let me get some of this welded up, we'll get it ground down, and then we'll take a look at what shell looks like. Okay, so we got that that whole corner all welded up, all ground down. Hit it with the flapper wheel, hit it with some 40 grit, got this all smoothed out. And there's there's still some spots I gotta hit. There's still some pinholes I'm gonna have to go back and hit, but for the most part, I'm pretty happy with it. Sure makes a difference going from things looking welded up solid to going to that from just spots everywhere. All right, so next thing I'm going to do, and I think we'll probably show a little bit of this, is I want to cut this can back flush and get that welded in there. And so what I'd like to finish for today is get this welded back and get this line welded and get that line welded, kind of get this corner finished up and ground down. And that's going to be a pretty good day's work. We'll get that done. So let me set the camera up, get a couple things set, and we'll trim that off of there and look at how we're going to weld that. And yeah, that's what we do. Back in just a second. All right, so like said originally, we just spot welded that dude in there. Get all my goodies here. What, a lot of grinding dust already. So we're just going to kind of trim off a little bit of it at a time. I think we'll start with the bottom. I'm going to go from the bottom and just cut along that edge like that. So I kind of got a nice flush edge. I want to try to almost like 45 that edge. I don't want the weld just piling, just piling up on this edge, because then when I grind it down, I'm not going to have much there. So what I'm going to try to do is kind of angle that like that. Sticking out a little bit here. Good. Got just a little bit of a gap in there, just enough to get some weld down in there. So I'm going to do this. Okay, what I'm going to go low heat to start with. Let's do this on one. Just to see how it does. I don't want to blow a bunch of holes in it. Oh, not that one. Do a couple of tacks to see how she does. Pretty good. Looks like I could go a little hotter. Let's go ahead and put it on 2. That looks really good. I don't know if you can see that or not. Well, too high. Let me see here. There you go. If you look at that one right there, we got just a little bit of a gap under there. So as we're doing that, it's filling that in and sitting fairly flush. So when we grind that, we should have a nice smooth surface across the front of that, and still have plenty of weld holding this thing together. So a little bit more here. Good. Not really worried about warping this because you got pretty solid structure there, and then you got that. You got to remember you got that 3/4 inch square tubing right behind this, so there's not a whole lot of big open flat space. So I don't think warping is going to be a problem. So okay, that should stay like that. Now let's go ahead and do another piece here. I'm going to move this back out of my way a little bit. little bit of a gap there. So I think we can just ding that over. Okay. Just a little bit along there. Welding in there really nice. Okay, top edge. Make sure we get that edge first. That looks pretty good because I was kind of on an angle, so that almost did that little 45 for me. So I don't think I need to grind any on that, or I don't think I need to take that die grinder on that. Just making a few spots here. Good. A little low on this one. It's kind of like welding upside down, which I'm just not very good at. Cut that last little hunk off. Do that. Quite fit in there. right, so I think that's looking pretty good. We got this all cut back and got it ground. It looks good. The light looks good in there. I got that bead run. I had to weld a little piece in between the two panels there to fill that in, so I got quite a bit of grinding to do there. But I think we're gonna stop there for today. My granddaughter's here, and I'm gonna hang out with her a little bit and be grandpa. And we will pick this up again tomorrow after church. So I'll be back tomorrow. All right, so I think that's where we're going to stop here for today. I hope you like that little drag race. I got my granddaughter once; she got me on the second one, but I might have let her win. So anyway, that kind of stuff is fun, man. You gotta take time to do that before they're too old to enjoy that stuff with you. So anyway, I got this seam down here all welded up and ground down. I need to go back, fix some pinholes, and kind of got that seam and the seam along there. I kind of figured out my own, I hope, problem with the welder last night. I got online and just looked up MIG welding with 100% argon, and it said a couple of welding sites said you can do it, but here's the problems you will have, and they listed about 5 things, and every one of them is the problem I'm having. So when I bought this welder, my old welder, I had the little tank, and it was CO2 argon mix. So when I bought this welder, I went up, before I even hooked it up, I went up and got this big tank and did a lease on it. And I don't remember if I told them, give me a tank of argon, or if I said, I'm MIG welding, I need a bigger tank. So if they knew that, they should have sold me the CO2 argon mix and not the 100% argon. So I don't know if it was their fault, my fault, but it is what it is. That seems to be what the issue is. So I'm going to take this tank with me to work tomorrow and drop by there and see if I can just like do it's like a 1-year lease on the tank. Maybe I can do an exchange on it, or maybe they can relabel this one and fill it up with CO2 argon, or whatever. We'll figure it out. So fingers crossed. I hope that's the problem. But yeah, I'm liking the way it's coming out. I've got this line up here that I realize is more crooked than I want, so I'm gonna have to I think I'm gonna have to cut some things loose up here and move them around a little bit to get this line straighter. But I did put that little piece of grill material in there in between the headlights, see what it looks like, and I do like the way it looks. So that is gonna stay in there. And that's what we'll do on the other side too. And if you look, the line on that side is straight. I just got a little goofed over here. Okay, so another thing I found out that I was pretty happy with was, I talked a bunch of times about I'm going to suicide these doors. I really don't want to do all that work, but the problem is that's as far as the door opens. There is no way you're going to get your foot in there to get up in the cab. Now, looking at the old 60s vans, those doors opened all the way 90 degrees. So I was looking at this last night, and it's like, well, I wonder if these doors could do that. So on this bottom hinge, you got this piece right here that stops this door from opening up that far. So on the other side, I went and cut that thing out just to see what it would do. And this door now opens completely 90 degrees. So with that, and if I go down here, and instead of making the bottom of the door this thick, I make it about that thick, and then kind of bring it up and then taper over into this. I think I'll have enough room to stick my foot in there to get up. And if I don't, maybe I could just make a little step out here that would look decent. So I think I'm going to try to go that route instead of doing the suicide on the doors on these things, because that's a lot of work. And if I can get around it, I'd rather do it. And I think it looks better with the doors opening this way. Then I don't have to move the hinges, move the handles, yada yada. So once we get this front done, we're going to try that. Okay, so that's where we are. I didn't think I had a whole video's worth of stuff doing this, showing a bunch of welding and grinding, but it turned out I do, so hope you enjoy it. We're going to go inside. We're going to get a word from the Lord, and that's going to be it for this video, and we'll probably put another one out next week. So, oh, and my plates came in. I'm excited. I'm on the road. All I got to do is wash that thing up, throw the plates on it, and I can do some cruising. So, okay, let's go see what we got, and that'll be into this one. Hey everybody, thanks for coming along, checking out the video today. So, like I said, I didn't know if I'd have enough out there for interesting for a whole video or not, because I just didn't want to do 45 minutes of just grinding and welding. That, to me, when I watch a video of that on YouTube on the Car Guys channels, that's the fast forward button, get through that stuff and see the finished product. But hopefully you found what we did interesting. So instead of a message today, we're gonna do something a little different. I got my beautiful wife Alicia is going to bless us with some singing, and we're gonna do a song for you today. So let me get downstairs and set up, and we'll check that out. All right, hey everybody, I appreciate you coming along and watching the video today, and we wanted to do something a little different than our standard message tonight. So my beautiful wife Alicia is going to bless us with a song, and I am going to try to play guitar on it. So we'll see what happens here. Let me kiss you first. I got 2 kisses because we messed up the first one. Okay, so let's see. I'll start right here.
I've been held in your hand from the moment that I wake up until I lay my head. I will sing of the goodness of God. All my life you have been faithful, and all my life you have been so good. With every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. I love your voice. You have led me through the fire in darkest night. You are close like no other. I've known you as a father, I've known you as a friend, and I have seen the goodness of God. 'Cause all my life you have been faithful, and all my life you have been so good. been faithful. And all my life you have been so good. With every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. Oh, I'm gonna sing of the goodness of God. I'll sing of the goodness of God.
Thank you, sweetie. That was beautiful. Good nuggets. All right, hit like, hit subscribe. Thanks everybody for following along, and we will catch you on the next video. And maybe we'll bring her back if I can talk her into it.